Hello, lovely ladies. I am Rayana Starr, and this lovely lady with me is Mylica. And am I saying it right, Mylica?
Yes, you're good.
Yes, Mylica. And what's your last name, Mylica? How do you say it?
Amity.
Amity?
Amity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amity. Mylica Amity. And she is the member in the spotlight today and this week. And she is a restaurant owner and a very active member in our group. She's engaging, which I love because social media is a two-way conversation, especially in Facebook and in the groups. If you want to be part of the conversation, if you want to be more visible, you need to be like Mylica and be engaging with the posts and the conversations. Otherwise, you're a lurker and no one knows you're there. You're just consuming content, but no one knows what you think. No one knows who you are. No one knows you're there. It's like having a one-way conversation with someone who just sits there and looks at you and doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything. So please let us know what you liked about this interview or some of the others. If you want to be a spotlight member, all you have to do is I'll have a link up above for you to click on, and you're going to schedule a member spotlight interview. I was calling them getting to know you interviews, but I like member spotlight interview better. And so I've changed it. You'll know that about me, as I'm always refining and making things better or changing things to see what works and what doesn't, which we should all be doing in our businesses. But anyway, this is about Mylica today, and she has been pretty active for months in the group now with engaging with comments and stuff. And there's things she struggles with in her business, and there's things she's very proud of. So Mylica, tell me a little bit about where you're from, and then I'll just ask you questions about your business and, just guide the conversation, kind of like Oprah style. It'll be an interview.
Okay, well, like Rihanna said, my name is Mylica Amity, and I'm from the island of St. Lucia, that's in the West Indies. I'm located on the Chaussee in Castries, that's a city part of the island. So.
And how long are you there right now in St. Lucia Islands?
I was born and raised there, so.
And where are you now?
I'm still in St. Lucia right now.
Okay, you're in St. Lucia. Okay. And so why did you join Empowering Women Entrepreneurs to Succeed in Business? What was it about this group, and why is it this group that you're so active in? Because there's so many other women's entrepreneur groups in Facebook, and you're pretty active in this one. So I'm just curious. I love that.
Well, I guess it's your content based and that you're very consistent. Sometimes you join groups and they don't post material and stuff that would help you as a participant or an entrepreneur. So when I saw that you're very consistent with your messages and your stuff, I thought that was something that I needed to join.
Okay, thank you. And that's good feedback for me. And you're making a very good point about business in general, Mylica, is that consistency is essential for success. You've got to be consistent in your marketing, in your sales, in your message, in showing up and letting people know you exist. So if you're struggling to generate leads in your business, Mylica is just giving you a gift of she responded and joined my group because I was consistent and I was giving value. Those are the two probably key ingredients to being successful with marketing and lead generation. You don't know when people are watching you. People watch you before they make a commitment or before you even know they're watching you. So thank you for that feedback. And now, once you're in the group, what is it about the group that causes you to stay engaged? What is it that you like about this community?
Well, again, when I comment, you get other members and yourself giving positive feedback, giving advice, as to the next step. I've even gotten some connections from the group. So it's kind of like networking.
Awesome. Yay. Well, that's what I'm hoping for in the group.
I
So
was a little
you're,
at
yeah,
first because it was international, and that sometimes you feel like since you're across the waters, you won't get that material that you need. But it's been an awesome ride so far.
yay, I'm glad to hear it. So tell me, you're in St. Lucia, gosh, beautiful, a beautiful area. Tell me a little bit about your business. Like, what do you do? And this is your time to gush and brag and tell me all about what you're doing. Because I know, a restaurant is not an easy business. And when I'm following you in the group, you have good weeks and weeks that you struggle. It's not an easy business to be in. So tell us a little bit about the name of your business, where you're located, what kind of food, how long have you been in business, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, well, the name of my business is Melly's Mix It Up. When I first started, I started with smoothies, hence the name Mix It Up. So whatever my customers asked, they got, as long as I had it. And then it branched out to requests as what they would want for the day. And I'm like, as long as I have the ingredients, my customers get whatever they wanted. So I started small, but then we had to move, and we moved just in front of COVID. So it caused a strain of a problem, but I'm a fighter, persevering, always a go-getter. So right now we're a full-blown restaurant, still have my smoothie bases. We serve majority fast food, but on the healthy side, affordable prices, because my passion is not just putting food in somebody's plate, it's putting affordable food that everybody can afford. Sometimes you go to a hotel and the food is so pricey that you have to literally choose from certain parts of the menu because you want to eat something but you cannot afford it. So my restaurant is totally different.
And you're in a tourist area, so I would think people that are in that area would really appreciate a restaurant that has really good, fast, inexpensive, healthy food that tastes good at a very affordable price.
Yes, we are. But like you said, that has been one of my challenges as well. Since I'm hands-on, so I'm like the everything in the restaurant. So my marketing has taken a little back burner, hence why I searched up you. Yes, so I'm trying to get that more on a level ground where I could get in the clientele that I actually want. But not that I don't want those I have now, just extra and different and more
Yeah,
clientele.
now let me ask you, that's hard to run a business where you're doing everything. Have you considered hiring someone to help you with some of the things that are menial or that are hard for you to do? Is there a point where you plan to do that?
Well, right now I have hired 2 people to help me.
Okay, good.
I'm looking for the one to actually replace me because, as you can see, I'm
Oh,
soon.
wow. Congratulations. You're like due soon, huh?
So I actually need somebody to take over what I'm doing. And that's the hard part. Sometimes you need somebody as passionate as you that would do what you do. So it's kind of hard to get that type of person.
All right. So there's a book. I want you to write this down. This will probably be the best advice I ever give you. And you need to get this book and read it immediately. When you're not working and the baby's born and you're resting and laying around, this is the book to read. The E-Myth Revisited. The E-Myth, it means the entrepreneurial myth revisited. It's a white book with blue letters. You can get it on Amazon, and it's by Michael Gerber. And where you're stuck right now in your business, Mylica, is you are the technician who has started a business and you think you've got to do everything and it's all about good quality work and you're good at producing a product, but you need to learn how to run a business and treat the business like the product, not the food that you serve, but that the business is the product. I'm reading this book again. I read it every year, and it was a couple of years since I had read it before. And even though I coach on it and I refer it to people, it's amazing how much you forget. And it's been very eye-opening for me. And so I challenged a client of mine. I said, all right, you need to read this book by our next coaching call. And I'll tell you what, I'll do the same. We both have to have it done by Thursday. So I've been reading it, and it's been aha. And in that book, Michael Gerber talks, I don't have any eye makeup on, so oh well. Here's me up close and personal, and because there's too much of a glare on my glasses. So one of the things he talks about, there's three roles we play in our business. The technician is the worker bee. You're the one doing the work. You're making the product, you're delivering the service. And then there's the manager, who is all about processes and systems and getting things organized and making things work better. And then there's the entrepreneur that keeps the technician and manager busy with the vision. You're the visionary, you're the one who's like, all right, where are we going next? And you're the one with the ideas, the one planning for the future. And when a technician is good at a skill, like making healthy fast food, and then you say, oh, well, I'm going to go into business rather than work for someone else, because you get sick of working for people. They don't do it as good. They don't care as much, or they're not paying you enough, blah, blah, blah. You start a business, and that is not enough to be successful. Ladies, I'm talking to everybody, because there is so much to running a business besides just delivering a product or service. You're discovering that, right? Mm-hmm. So where are the challenges for you in running your business right now? Where would you say your biggest challenges are right now?
Doing it all.
Trying to do it all? Yeah.
Right now I'm trying to have an extension to the business where I also do catering and functions. So since I am like on a budget, or cost effective, like I said, you use what you have to get what you want without spending too much money. So again, I have to do it all. Yes. On
a tight budget. Yeah. So you're on a tight budget, and you're trying to do it all, and now you're trying to expand. And at some point you run out of time and energy. And you know, so read that book. Will you promise me you'll read that book, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber? It will be a game changer for you in your business, Mylica. A game changer. And then schedule a connection call with me after you read that book, and let's discuss what you learned from it and what you want to change about how you're doing your business. Will you do that?
Yes, I will.
Good. Okay. Now, there's a baby in your belly. When is it due?
In August. The first week of
August? Okay. And is the daddy around?
Yes, he's around.
Okay. Like, is he around to help with the baby and stuff? Okay, good. All right. You sound, is there something you want to say about that?
Well, that's my fourth baby. My first is 21. My second is 17, and I have a 5-year-old. So this one is a new dad, sorry.
Okay, so, all right. Wow.
Sometimes
so you've got your first baby and your last baby are a generation apart.
Yes, they are.
So is this your last one, or are you going to keep having?
Yes, definitely my last one.
Okay. Definitely. All right. And go new daddy. I love it. So, you know, this is international because you're in St. Lucia. I'm in North Carolina. There's people from all over the world in my group, and none of them can come to your restaurant on a
Yes.
weekly or a monthly basis to eat your food. So how can we support you in being successful in your business?
Well, you guys have helped a lot so far with your content in the group chats. I just want, like some of your comments, I find that not many people are putting themselves forward with the expertise and the experience they have. So that's what sometimes another entrepreneur needs, the experience of somebody else, how they overcome, how they started, that's good feedback, good experience for somebody like me. So
ladies, anybody out there besides me, when you see Mylica commenting and engaging and she's struggling with something, help her out. She's a lady on a tight budget. She's on an island and there's it's a lot of tourists there, but typically what happens in a tourist attraction kind of place is the local people that work there are the ones that benefit the least from that economy, because these big corporations and big hospitality corporations come in and make all the money. So one way we could support Mylica in thriving in her business is, giving her advice and supporting her and helping her take her business to the next level, because we can't be customers unless we go to St. Lucia. And then say it very slowly, the name of your restaurant.
Melly's Mix It Up.
Melia's Mix It Up.
Melly's.
Melly's.
Yeah.
Okay, Melly's Mix It Up. Okay, so it's your nickname, Melly's Mix It Up. And you're on the island of St. Lucia, which is small, isn't it? Like it would be pretty easy to find Melly's Mix It Up if we asked around. Yeah. So it makes me want to just go there for a vacation just so I can come and eat at your restaurant. What else do you want people in the group to know about you?
Oh my gosh. I could talk about everything else but myself.
Well, why did you tell me why you started a restaurant as a business? Because that is not an easy business to do. So tell me why a restaurant. What was it about that business?
Okay, I started working at the age of 14 in the hospitality industry. So I started at a restaurant, then moved on to a hotel, and then kept on going there. And I found that every hotel that I went to, they serve the exact same thing. And they're not like catering to the local cuisine to international people. They're catering to the same food that the international people already know. And I traveled for a little bit, went to Canada, and I joined a church group, and they put me in the social club. So I was heading the social part of the church, creating meals and events and helping out the poor and stuff like that. And I realized a lot of people that I helped didn't know how to prepare a lot of food that they already had in their pantry. So when it came to church giving, they would just give out what they have because they didn't know how to use it. So I started doing classes and stuff to teach people, how to utilize the types of food they have on a budget and, that type of thing. So coming back to my country, it was hard to, go back to the industry. And then soon after, I found out that I was pregnant, and I didn't want to go back to that industry. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but still earn a living. And started at my home, in my home kitchen, catering to just the neighborhood kids and people around, and it grew from there.
All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense that you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, so you just started feeding the neighbors and feeding the neighborhood, and then it blossomed from there. And now it's at a point where you're kind of out of your comfort zone. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think reading that book, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, any of you who have not read that book yet, I'm giving you the biggest gift to being successful in your business by you reading that book. And if you go and read that book and you want to talk about it with someone, schedule a free connection call with me, and I will help you kind of lay out a plan how you could implement what you learn in that book. Look, business is about providing a valuable service or product, and in exchange, getting paid for that. But networking and building community is about helping people out. And my group is about empowering women entrepreneurs to succeed in business by collaborating and connecting and supporting each other and making it more personal and doing business together and helping each other out. You know, I just admire your perseverance and your determination and your creativity and your desire to want that freedom, Mylica. And I also appreciate your engagement in the community, and that you're not only taking, but giving. And I appreciate that a great deal. And like I said, if I were to give you any advice, it would be to read that book and then schedule a connection call with me, because there's going to come a point when you're the one in the business responsible for the product or the service, that you run out of trading time for dollars, that there isn't enough of you to go around, and you burn out. And then you get small again. You'll either shrink and operate at a level that's comfortable for you, which you'll surge again, and or you end up finding just one person to do it all for you, and that doesn't work because you don't have quality control. It's treating your business like a franchise, that if you were to duplicate it, you could sell it to someone else and they would succeed in exactly the same way, because all the processes and systems are the same. So that's where you need to grow in your business, is getting from being the technician and starting to move into the manager role, because we do all three of these in our business. You're the technician, then the manager, and then the entrepreneur. It's going to help you to start looking at your business differently. Like, okay, how am I going to systematize the way I do things? Like you said, you like to accommodate your customers with what do they want, but you're on a tight budget. And you said a few times, it just depends on what I have available. Well, what I would say is start finding cheap ingredients that are always available, that you can consistently build a consistent menu, where maybe you're consistent on 3 or 4 items you're known for, and you always just do that. Something where you can get consistent in the way you're providing your product or service that is affordable and sustainable. That's where I would start. And then it's, how do you get servers in there that can clean the floor and deliver the food, so that what part of the business do you enjoy the most? Is it the cooking? Yeah.
Yes.
That's often the case with businesses. The head chef is the owner, and the head chef is doing what they love to do. But in order for the restaurant to run, that head chef isn't running around everywhere. He's doing the work he wants, and he's found a general manager, he's found a hostess, he's found busboys, he's found servers, so he's found other cooks. So start looking at, how could I be more consistent in what I'm delivering as far as the food, so it's affordable and something I can do consistently? And then where do I need the help where it would free me up? Especially if your baby's due in a couple of months, it's okay, who you need to be looking right now, like who can be running it, and who can be doing the cooking, and then who could do the cleanup and who could do the serving. So how is this resonating with you, this advice?
Well, sometimes it's good to hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Most times we know what's in our head that we need to do, but then we second guess ourselves and we second guess our intuition, and hearing it from somebody else, is a bigger impact.
Yeah, and the things I'm speaking to, not just to you, Mylica, but to all of us, is your product or service is not your business. Your business is the product or service. And to look at your business as like, how could it be duplicatable? And that's what the franchise model is all about, and a good example of that is McDonald's. Whether you like McDonald's or not, I don't eat at McDonald's, but Ray Kroc came in and met the McDonald's brothers, and I watched the movie about this, and everybody thought he was this heartless guy, but what he was doing is he saw a business model that could be duplicatable, and now he's got over 14,000 stores around the United States, and everybody in every store gets the same exact hamburger, the same exact fries, that the quality control is always there. Can you, or any of you watching this, ladies, say that you have that experience? When you're consistent, Mylica was joined this group because I'm consistent with my content. I'm consistent with the way I engage. I'm consistent about giving value. So being consistent is so crucial to your success in your business. So how do you be consistent? You've got to step back and look at, how can we deliver the same quality product or service every single time? That every time someone comes into your business, they get exactly the same experience. So there's an example in the book that Michael Gerber's talking about, where he's talking to a new client, and he tells a story in the book about he went to go get a haircut, and he went into the barber, and the first time he went, the barber was telling him how he washes the hair first because it's easier to cut. He doesn't use an automatic razor. He always uses scissors for precision. That his little receptionist kept his coffee cup full, and he had this amazing experience and a very good haircut. So he goes back the next time, and the guy doesn't wash his hair. No, he does wash his hair, but he does use the automatic razor and the scissors. The gal fills his coffee up once. He did have a good haircut, but it wasn't the same experience. The third time he came back, the receptionist was nowhere to be found. There was no coffee. He was offered wine this time. His hair didn't get washed, and the whole cut was done basically with the razor and a little bit of trim. He still got a good haircut in all three incidences, but he decided not to go back anymore because he didn't know what to expect. He didn't have a consistent experience there, and there was just something about that felt uneasy for him, like, oh, it's all about this guy and wherever he's at as to what he wants to deliver. He's not considering me, the customer, on what it is I want. So when we look at our businesses, it's not about the product or service that you deliver. It's, think of your customers. Think about why they come back. If they come back, are they coming back? And is it the same experience every time? Are you friendly one time and frazzled the next? Are they able to get their favorite dish today, but not next time because you don't have the ingredients? Consistency is important. So you may have to do, and I've done this several times in several of my businesses, where I get to a point where I have to push the pause button and evaluate. I'm at one of those points in my business right now, and I'm stepping back and I'm looking at, am I getting the results I want? Am I, for the work that we're putting in, are we getting the results we want? And for me right now, I'm saying, no, I'm not getting the results I want. Now, I'm doing fine, but I think for me as a strategic business coach, it's important that I be real and that I also show you that I walk my talk. And you have to step back at different stages in your business and say, all right, expand your capacities. Like, okay, the way we're operating has worked for the first year, but it isn't working anymore for where we want to go next. Okay. So I didn't mean to get into a lecture here. What did you get out of that, Mylica, that you could take to your business?
I was doing a comparison in my head while you were speaking on that. When I was in Canada, I worked for Boston Pizza. And while you were speaking about McDonald's, you know, the consistency and they're using the same products and, you know, you come and you get the same exact thing because they have things in place. I try to do the same thing here, but what I find is that sometimes the customers notice if I'm not there. And that's something I do not like about my business. Like if I'm not there, they'll notice something is maybe
right. So it can't be, it can't be about you. It's got to be about the business delivering the same consistent. Yeah, that's what happens. And that's what I call a solopreneur slave. When your business is dependent on you, you are a solopreneur slave. And it can't be dependent on your relationship with the customers or that you're the one cooking the food. It's got to be a system that you can bring in just some kid off the street and teach them how to do what you need to get done in the business. So what else?
Another thing with being on the island is that, as same thing as you said as well, the products are not consistent. So sometimes there's always a shortage of something that you need. Then you have to, you know, use something else or change the menu. And it's hard sometimes, you know, to have a menu that's what you have planned, and then you go to buy your stuff and they tell you they don't have. So
is that because that island is dependent on exports? Okay, got it. Oh, I bet COVID was a real challenge with supply demand issues, huh?
Yes. Wow. Many of my dishes out because of that.
Yeah. Well, what I want to say is I just think you're so resilient and you have such a wonderful attitude. And I would really love to speak to you after you read that book. Will you read that book?
Yes, I will.
It will be a game changer for you. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It may just be you start with one thing, like what's one change I could make that's going to make the biggest impact right now to move towards treating my business like a system, and that the business itself is the product.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so let me ask you this, Mylica, if you had a message, wisdom that you want to share from the rooftops for the whole world to hear, what would that message be for other women entrepreneurs?
Something I've learned recently, well, I kind of knew but doubted myself, is that we always know what we want but put it in the back burner. So always go with your gut feeling, you know, with what your mind tells you to do, passion behind it, and forget about the naysayers and the no-sayers and not having support and your friends not coming to support you. You know, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do and just go for it.
Yeah, mindset, you know, just not letting people throw wet blankets on your dreams and to just go for it. No. And what I would say is one step further from that is just don't have naysayers in your life. You know? Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Well, it's been a delight to actually put a face to the name. And that's why I'm doing these member spotlight interviews. And there are other groups, really large women entrepreneur groups, that charge to do that. They'll charge $100 or $250 a month for you to be able to do a video, for you to be able to talk about your business, for you to be able to post in their group. And I think that's really silly and not very supportive of women entrepreneurs, that you're in an entrepreneur group for women and you can never talk about your business. Because in this community, I want us helping each other and doing business with each other. And I've appreciated seeing you. And I've always wondered, I got to get a face to a name here and interact with this gal and figure out, because it's very different interacting online in comments and stuff. Yes, you get a sense that someone's a good person and blah, blah, blah. But to actually interact with you right now has been such a delight to get a sense of who you are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. I'll post this in the group. And then once I do, please in the comments down below, give a link to your website, your email, whatever, however you want people to contact you. Read that book, and I expect to see you on my calendar in the near future for a connection call to discuss the book. Okay, so let me know how that works out for you. Okay, I'm Rayon Starr, and this is Mylica. She lives in St. Lucia and has a restaurant there, and she's going to have a baby in a couple of months. And so who's next? Who wants to be the next member that I spotlight? It can be personal, professional. I prefer it be both. So we all get to know each other, because we like to do business with people we know, like, and trust. So let's do business, ladies, and let's start with a member spotlight. Thank you so much, Mylica, for being my guest today. And I look forward. Yes. Pardon?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Okay. Well, I'll post this shortly after it converts. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
nice day.
You too.